Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Yeah, but that's because you're dead inside. You don't want to play anymore. Hello.
Oh, loud as can be.
Loud as can be. We're back. It's just you two, us two.
Fucking hell.
We got this.
Yeah, we've had some guests on. Hope you enjoyed listening to our chats with some guests. But this week, as promised, it's just me and you, George.
Yep.
Back to the old school.
Yep.
Coca-Cola Classic. Reebok Classics.
Yep.
The original Jurassic Park.
Yours.
Yeah.
The original Karate Kid.
Sure. Yeah.
Before Jaden Smith came in. That happened. The Will Smith slap. Did we even talk about that on a podcast?
I don't know.
So much has happened.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
I know. Well, I've lost track of stuff.
Doesn't matter.
How you been? Any gigs recently?
Well, yeah. Sort of wedding season's back on, isn't it? Slowly. Sort of one a week.
Any horror stories? Or good stories?
I wouldn't say horror stories, but I will catch you up on, if you've listened before, you'll know I had a gig, first one back, where the guitarist, the groom was playing guitar with us for a song, and for Everlong by Foo Fighters. And for me, I think I called him a cunt in the podcast, because anyway, so we did the gig. Turns out the sound limiter wasn't an issue. Cool. And the groom, he was a lovely bloke. He was just going to play, rhythm guitar. So we did it. We did it at the start of the second set or whatever. And obviously, it was fine. And then he wanted to stay on and do another song. Of course he did. So
I don't even know if I've heard this. Did we talk about this or not?
Yeah, it's the one where I said, stop getting on stage and whittling around like an absolute cunt. Do you remember?
No.
There was an audio clip. We made a fucking audio clip of it and posted it on our Instagram.
Don't remember that at all.
We're going, we spent 18 months planning for this wedding and we've done this, and you've spied grand on us all having chicken. And I said, that's the last thing we want to see is you up on the stage whittling a guitar around like an absolute cunt. Do you remember?
Are you enjoying wedding season being back on?
Obviously not.
Yeah, clearly not.
You must remember.
Not really.
Remember.
I remember the Everlong.
Oh my God.
That's embarrassing. Must have just forgot about it.
Come on. With the clip, it was really funny.
Well,
anyway, and I said, he was coming up anyway. He wanted to stay on and do another song. The next song we were playing was Jimmy Eat World. He didn't know it. Whatever. He just stood there. And then later in the evening, we played Killing in the Name, Rage Against the Machine. Crowd were enjoying it. It was a small wedding, but we were awful. We were fucking abysmal. And he won't mind me calling me out on this. Probably does this anyway. All down to the singer. But we start playing Killing in the Name. Oh, Mr. Groom, he thinks, I'll come back up on the stage and get my guitar. And so he picks his guitar up, and there he is playing. And I can see him looking a little bit confused, but he's trying to play along. And a couple of minutes into the song, I notice his guitar ain't plugged in. And
unplug it?
I didn't unplug it. But I was fucking happy that it was.
Jesus.
But just get off. Fuck off. You've had your moment.
As we said, I do remember we saying, you've got married. That should be enough.
You remember it now, do you?
Who are you impressing? You seem to be really annoyed that I've forgotten.
I just can't believe you can't remember it.
Well, we've talked about a lot of stuff on this podcast. I can't expect it. I don't even know why you were going around Lumpies for a £5.
I didn't go round Lumpies for a £5. I went round Fat Luke's for a £5.
That was it.
Lumpy
Who knows
wanked
anymore?
in his bass drum. Come on. Different people. Both fat though.
Good.
Both fat. Anyway, so yeah, back gigging. Money's good, so cheers. Anyway, and did a gig on the weekend, just gone. Easy gig, mate. Fucking one of them was just easy. Easy loading, easy setup, easy sound check. Bosh. But I don't know about you, George, but I like to people watch. when I'm playing because I'm
Big
dead
time.
inside and I hate all the songs.
Yeah.
So I like
I think
to
that's
see,
been established.
yeah. I just like to sort of scout around the room with my eyes and go, who are these people? What's going on here?
Mm.
What's the dynamic? And you look around and you go, cool, this is a bit of a chavvy wedding. Sure. And that's fine,
Yeah.
you know, but there's a dude wearing trainers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's wearing
And
jeans
nothing
and
else.
trainers.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Put a little bit of effort in.
Yeah.
The groom and they've all clearly been to Moss Bros. Put a bit of effort in, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, I noticed in the sort of second set, so there was this girl and this woman, and she was very attractive in this sort of flowery jumpsuit sort of thing. Not the bride. She was not the bride, nor was she a bridesmaid. But for a good few songs, the groom and her were dancing
Right.
a lot.
Yeah.
They were dancing together
Yeah.
a lot. Couldn't see the bride. Don't know where
Nope.
she'd gone.
Yeah.
But sorry to say it, bride, but this woman was a lot more attractive than you. You've had
Right.
2 years to get ready for this wedding. It's been postponed 3 times.
We're going to get cancelled.
Put a bit of effort in. It's the best you'll ever look. Anyway, he was dancing with this woman for quite a while. And then what was interesting, you see, you go, well, what's their relationship? Could be brother and sister. Oh, no, that hand indicates they're not brother and sister. Maybe they're just friends. Is she like his friend? Is she an issue? Does the bride find her an issue that he's mates with this very attractive woman? But anyway, one of the bridesmaids, she could see. And she had a face of thunder. And she was just trying to dance, but her face was just like, you're an idiot, mate.
Yeah.
And she was just like bogging out the groom, who didn't notice. And then at one point, she did the classic, I'll dance with this girl to stop him and the girl dancing together. I just thought it was very interesting.
It's interesting. I've had it before.
I give the marriage 6 months.
Well, I had a gig in Mayfair once, and it
Ooh!
was very fascinating wedding because it was
Expensive on the Monopoly board.
well, yeah, the most expensive, and
Big time.
and it was
£400.
it was Mayfair Country Club or something, and we were playing, and the groom's family were all rich from being in oil. You know what I mean? Like they all sold oil, and they told us like
Who doesn't?
multi-millionaires, probably billionaires, and he'd married this Canadian woman. The groom's family didn't like her because we found this out by she was going around crying at the wedding saying the groom's family hates me, you know. And I was like, this isn't good. But then I don't know, I guess to get her own back, she started dancing very provocatively with members of the members of the party, and the groom kept saying to her, can you stop doing that? And I was like, this isn't, if this is their wedding day, what is their life going to be like? But it is interesting because it's like you do see stuff, you do see things going on, you're like, that's interesting.
Oh, I also saw the new Batman film the other week.
Yeah Any good?
I quite liked it, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very long, but kind of didn't feel that long.
That's good.
But other than that, don't know.
Well, speaking of gigs, I played one quite a while ago now, but we haven't done a podcast where it's just been you and I.
This was the gig you were doing with the same bill as Josh, who we interviewed a few weeks ago.
God, that's how we the gig where we was like talking about it as if it was done, but it wasn't done. But
because it was basically the day after we recorded.
Yeah. So it was with an artist called Wren, and
like the bird,
and it was maybe one of my favorite gigs ever. Like just in terms of Yeah, go on.
Tell me why.
I'll tell you why. It was, I mean, in a nutshell, it was because there was no restraints to it, you know? Yeah. You and I discussed talking about, we play weddings, and even if there's no sound limiter, and even if you're playing Killing in the Name, you're not going for it as loud as you can, because there's this sort of, I don't know. You're
Being
at a
paid
wedding.
to do a job. You're providing a
Well,
service.
it's not even that. It's
You're
I
dead
think
inside.
it's well, there you go. That's your
Yeah.
reason. But when you're looking at it and it's people in suits, you're like, I'm not going to play as hard as I can. That's ridiculous. You know, it's just it doesn't.
Well, ultimately,
feel...
there's a disconnect, isn't there? There's a you're entertainment, but you're not the priority.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
the main
that's
reason
true as
people
well.
are there.
No.
You're
Yeah, if you make it
for the
about
wedding.
yourself, yeah, and make it.
But when you're playing
self-indulgent.
an originals gig, well, people are there to see live
Yeah.
music. That's why they fucking left the house.
Exactly. So I didn't know what to expect because it was a dep gig essentially, and
The shackles are off. He was free.
oh yeah, so let's stick to that. So basically, I played harder than I played in years. Like I honestly don't think I played like that since I was like 18.
Well, you're all muscle, isn't it?
Well, I am.
Chateau
that.
Can.
This is from the crew work, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, it was just it was amazing. It was in a church which has been converted to a gig venue, and it was sold out. And you know how, I mean, I probably adopted some of the pessimism about gigs from you, but you kind of hear it's sold out and there's going to be 400 people, and you go,
Yeah.
yeah, but is it though? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was. And I was watching the first two
You said
bands.
300 the other week, so don't know
Well,
where
it
those extra 100
turned out it was actually 400.
Nah.
I had no idea. And
Just
so,
say 5. Just say
Yeah,
around 5
exactly.
then.
And so we were playing. No, hang on, you throw me off. So there was two bands on first.
Phased you. See if
You
you can
have.
phase me. Yeah.
So there was two bands on first, and I was watching, and I was going, there's a big crowd. This is going
It's
to
one
be
of them
fun.
Josh's band.
Yes, Josh's band, and then the other band I can't remember the name. I think
I
it
want
was
a 3-word review of Josh's band. 3 words. You've only got 3.
Big Massive Riffs.
Great.
Yeah, there you go.
Carry on.
And yeah, and I think it was helped by the fact that we didn't have any more than one rehearsal. So I hadn't really even been given the tracks until the day of the rehearsal. You know, I just had like a live set and Spotify songs to learn from. So we did a rehearsal and literally played every song once, and then that was it. And we were like, well, we can't do any more because no one has the time, and we just got to hope it's good. So there was that element of like it being on the edge that made it better as well, because you're sort of, it's not perfectly rehearsed. So you can't get comfortable and you can't get lazy. You have to be like, do I know the next part of the song? And it was just, there was so many elements to it that was great.
So many elephants.
So many elephants in the room.
No wonder it's sold out.
Yeah, this is it. They only sold
the room
4
filled up with-
tickets, and they made it sold out. No, there's so many elements.
One
to it.
elephant
There was-
equals 50 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your ratio of elephants?
50 to 1.
So there's so many parts to it that was just brilliant. And first of all, the fact that it was a filled, sold out room. Secondly, the kit sounded amazing because you're in a church. So you hit those rim shots and it's like, this is unbelievable. But also there wasn't really any could you just play the kit quieter? You know what I mean? It was like when you sound checked, I sort of went for it and no one said, all right, could you, right.
It's not going a bit loud in it.
Yeah.
It's a drum kit. What do you
Yeah,
expect?
exactly.
It's
So-
nice when you play a venue and they're like, yeah, this is what we do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, when we got to the gig, I was ready for it and I was excited. And then within the first song, I was like, God, this is seriously fun. Like, I think it was just my favorite sort of drumming, just that I've learned is my favorite over the years, is just loud, halftime beats, just really crash heavy and, beats you can really go into, but it's not too fast. You really just sort of like,
Were you headlining?
Yeah, we were.
What
which
time did
was
you go on?
9:45, I think.
Good time, that. It's a
Very good time. Yeah, this is what I mean. So many parts to it were just like, that was good. So we're playing the set, and it was just so much fun. I just I did all the things I do, like all my silly little trademark things, like standing up while playing the drums. Yep, did that, and just right. Here's the bit that I need to say that I'm like, I can't say this in a way that doesn't sound not even cocky, but like I'm not the drummer for that act. However, during the set,
George,
yeah, go on.
This is a safe space.
Well, it is, but we also it's more than you and I that are listening to this. Maybe I don't know.
Everyone believes in you, George.
Well, here's the thing. I started thinking during the gig, I'm really enjoying this gig. I want the rest of the band to have to feel awkward about going back to their drummer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to play so well that they were like, oh, fuck, why don't we have him on drums? You know what I mean? And there's no way of saying that without sounding cocky. But I think also you need to have that kind of mentality when you're doing a depth gig. You need to be playing like, I want to play to a point, whatever it is, a function gig or a originals gig. I think you should play to a point where you're like, I want them to be, like, fuck, why don't we have him? Because the amount of times you play with depth guitarists or whatever, you're like, he's way better than our guitarist, and I started to really enjoy the gig as it went on. And then we finished the set, and we did like a 40-minute set, and it was like we played every song there was. And we went off stage, and this is the amazing part. We went off stage and went into like the backstage area, and people were like chanting for an encore. And we were just kind of chatting, going, oh, that was great, you were great, this was cool. And after 5 minutes, people were still chanting for an encore. And it was just a different thing. Because we do wedding gigs, and you sort of like, you deliberately keep 2 songs back because there'll be an encore. You finish, and then there'll be like
the planned encore.
Yeah, the planned encore. And you're like, right, we'll save Mr. Brightside because we know that there'll be like one more song. And even if they don't, you can still be like, do you want one more? And they're like, yeah.
Do you want one more of this contractually obliged?
Exactly,
timing?
Yeah, because we've only actually played 52 minutes so far.
Yeah.
And but so we were backstage, and and they were still chanting, and someone comes around and goes, you guys are gonna have to play another song because they're not leaving. And so you'll love this.
Turn the house lights up. That will get people out the door.
Well, we had to play, you'll love this, Seven Nation Army, because that was the only one. And I know the whole gig I was saying to everyone, oh, it's just nice to do a gig that isn't a function. You know what I mean? It's so nice to not have to play covers. And then we were like, right, we've got to do one more song. We didn't have any other, that we'd held back. So Wren, the artist, whose real name's Millie, she turned to me and goes, do you know how to play Seven Nation Army? I was like, yeah, I do. And we got up and played it, and then made like the biggest ending, and then that was it. But it was nice because it felt like a real encore, that sort of thing of like everyone is still there. And yeah, it's just one of those unexpectedly great gigs. But I think in a nutshell, it was that feeling of like, yeah, there was no limit to how hard I could play. We've talked about like you do a wedding and you're at 40% because for you're dead inside. Yeah, 40 if it's a good day for you. 20 usually. Whereas this, it's rare that you get to play as hard as you can, and also get that, because it's a mixture of everything. Sometimes you'll play as hard and as well as you can, but there's 4 people there, and who cares? Or sometimes you'll have a big audience, but you might not be having the best gig, or but when you have that mixture of everything, and it really is that, without sounding cheesy, it's that thing of like, oh, this is why I still do it. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to kind of like go, oh, is there any point in still trying to be a drummer? Especially in the cold months, and you see mates, especially now I'm getting older. I'm not old, but you see mates climbing the ladder or whatever. Oh, I'm on this much a year now, and you sort of go, should I start doing that? Should I just give it up? But then you have a gig like that, and you're like, no, this is cool. This makes it worthwhile. But amazing gig. It was great.
That's good.
But yeah, right. Should we take a break?
We're going to take a little break.
Nice.
See you in a bit.
Bye.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Right. Coming up, Tom of the Week and the Drum Dumpster, featuring... There's a cheeky little...
before that...
Cheeky little jingle for the Drum Dumpster.
Oh, we got it today.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So keep your ears peeled for that. But before we hit those, regular segments that you're all fucking looking forward to. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Georgie boy, you started doing some crew work.
Got a new job. Yep.
You're done with potatoes.
Done with potatoes.
And
for
now you're lugging around gear and stuff. And we mentioned, you sent me some pictures of some hard cases and flight cases that had stereophonics on.
Yep.
So tell us about your crew job, mate.
Well, let's begin from the beginning because I haven't said anything about it. So I got off. I didn't even get offered it. Some mate of mine told me she does crew work. And I was like, can you get us a job? She was like, yeah, I'll give you my boss's number. And he messaged me and he was like, can you do Saturday and Sunday at the Brighton Centre, crew work? Just wear crew, like building site shoes. That's all you need to know. And I was like, yeah, of course, I can do Saturday, Sunday. First of all, I didn't know what the hours would be. Sure. So I get told, okay, Saturday, 6:30 a.m. loading. And the shifts are 5 hours.
It's early, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's super early. So it gets worse than that. So Saturday morning, it's stereophonic, 6:30 loading. I'm going to tell you about the times before I get to anything else because it's ridiculous. Finished at 11:30 a.m. And I just went home. I slept for a bit because I knew I had to be back at 10 to do the loadout. So first of all, or maybe it's 10:30. Either way, it's about 11-hour gap between your morning job and your evening job, which is so weird because you can't really do anything apart from just chill because
you could play 4 games of football.
You play 4 games of football. You could
Maybe 5.
Watch 4
films.
How many 4 films? You could definitely watch a season of Breaking Bad, I reckon, in 11 hours.
Yes.
You can watch the first one.
Oh, Better Call Saul started this week.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
I know. So
I watched the whole season yesterday or something in one go. 6 episodes. Anatomy of a Scandal.
6 episodes, okay.
6 hours, bosh, start to finish. Cheers. See you later.
My biggest record is doing Breaking Bad in a week, which damn near killed me because I didn't even enjoy it after a while. I was just like, didn't even get to process it. So anyway, Saturday night did the loadout. Start at 10:30, and I had to work the next morning as well to do load-in for another gig. So we finished it about after 2 in the morning on the Saturday night, but the clocks went forward. So we actually finished at 3. And I live a 40-minute walk from the Brighton Centre, and you couldn't get a taxi or a bus at that time because it's, taxis are a lot and just being used. So I was like, right, I'll walk home. So I walked home. I didn't really get home and in bed till about 4 in the morning. And I had to be back at work at 8 a.m., which is just insane. And I was actually technically meant to be in at 7 a.m., but some people were doing 7, some people were doing 8. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do 8. If they ask, I'll just be like, oh, I thought I was doing the other one. And so, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And although they did text us that, make sure you know what the time is, which kind of shows the level of people working there. Make sure you know what the time is tomorrow. So yeah, I got to bed about 4, and I wasn't like, oh, I need to get to sleep. I was like, I know I'm not going to get any sleep because I woke up about 6:30 after like 2.5 hours sleep. I was like, right, off we go again, and just near enough put the same clothes back on. And then I can't remember who the gig was that day, but we had to do a load in. It was just the longest morning ever. But the hours alone, I had to discuss that because it's just ridiculous. And I think I quickly learned, don't do a load out, then a load in the next morning because you don't get sleep. Like to the point where they'll give people sleeping bags at the Brighton Centre and just be like, right, if you want to stay here tonight, you can just find a place to sleep, rather than go home. Which is just insane. And everyone I told, they're like, isn't that illegal? Yeah, it's totally illegal. But, it's crew work. But the job itself is, it's just, it's heavy lifting. It's trucks arrive at the Brighton Centre and they're full of flight cases and you pick them up, push them out, and then the roadies take it from there. But it's quite interesting how it all works because there's like a traveling crew. So there'll be like the lighting guys and the audio guys and the video guys. And there's not many of them, but then they just hire 40 local crew, and then they do that. So that's how it works.
Get some local chumps in.
Local chumps, yeah, exactly.
Who don't care about the employment
don't care
laws.
about sleep, don't care about anything. And but all of that aside, the lack of sleep, the hard work, all of that, it is fascinating how it all works, because I did a Catherine Ryan gig the other day, and I think whenever I've gone to, because I'm always fascinated.
What's she loading in?
Well, exactly that. So I'm always fascinated by like how shows work, and you go to a gig and everyone says the same thing. You're like, if it's a stand-up comedian, they're like, well, their outgoings must be fuck all, because it's just someone sets up a mic, they just pay for a mic and then that's it. But you don't realize like they carry everything, and I mean everything. So first of all, when I go to big gigs and you see the speakers, I always assume like maybe the venue has speakers, but no. They, the band carries around their own speakers, and they carry around their own lights, and even like the drapes behind the stage, and their own catering. That's something that's fascinating. So like when you turn up to a gig, it's not like someone's bought the food. They literally have to have a truck for kettles and bananas and things like that. So yeah, Catherine Ryan, it's one woman on stage, that's it, that's the show. But she had 3 trucks, and you go, that's crazy. And that's what's funny about it, without getting too money orientated, you think, well, she must make a fucking killing because it's like it's just her. But no, because they have to have the light people, and the riggers charge like 400 quid a day, and there was like 40 of us crew, and we all get 100 quid minimum, and it's like it starts to get quite interesting how it all works. And I'll say, yeah, this is my favorite thing about it, is you kind of see how a gig comes together, and you realize how much work goes into it. So that Stereophonics gig, I was there at 6:30 to start setting up for a gig that started at, let's say the sport band was on at 8, and but there were people there before me. The trucks get there at 5, and it's a whole long all day process. And the only way I can describe it is if you think of a function gig, imagine that, but times 1,000, because it's like they've got their own speakers, and they've got their own lights, and they've got their own, all of that stuff. But it's just like, rather than like 2 speakers that you could get Elliot Joseph to carry in one go, you have to have like a truck just for the speakers, and then you have to have a truck just for the lights and the trusses. And yeah, it's genuinely fascinating seeing how it all comes together, and then the speed at which it all gets packed down. So I'll quickly tell this story because I don't want to bang on about it too much. But yesterday I was doing the Bastille gig, and I got asked to do backline.
Crewing, not drumming.
Yeah, sadly not. Yeah. And so I was doing backline work, which is the best job to do, because you don't know what you're going to do when you turn up. They literally give you a high vis. They go, right, you're on video, and then you just have to take down the big video screens or whatever. So yesterday I was on backline, and I was working the load in and the load out, and I started working with the drum tech, and that was fascinating in itself, seeing how the kit is made for an arena band, how it's put together. Because there's a lot of similarities, it's still got just the cymbal hard case that I have, and it's still got like stands that just look like weathered and fucked up stands. But then, I don't know, it was just his efficiency, it was very much like you at a gig, in the speed he wanted to get out of there was insane. But it wasn't because he was like, I want to get home, let's get, it was literally because he has to pack down the kit before anyone else can put anything in the truck, and they have to get the trucks out before 2 a.m. otherwise they get fined by the Brighton Centre. And it was just watching how a drum tech works was amazing. It was just like, he's there early in the day, he sets up the kit, he tunes it, he sound checks it, and then the drummer turns up whenever sound check is, plays it, and then leaves, and then the drum tech packs it down. I know.
Deal.
Well, that's what you think, right? You just go, isn't that the, because I'll say one more thing, actually. That's what's made me kind of appreciate it all more. I've kind of gone, if I ever am lucky enough to play a place that big, I'll be so aware, like, if I get there at 4 to sound check and then the gig's at 9, I'll know that there's been 40 people setting up the stage to play on at 6 a.m., and then there was all these other people putting it all together. And just the way it all comes together it's genuinely fascinating. It's you spend all day to put it together just for this one show in the evening, and then you have to pack it away as quick as you can. But that's the job. I won't do it forever, obviously.
No.
It's just like a nice part-time thing, but it's genuinely fascinating to sort of see how it all works. And the drum tech last night, we sort of got on quite well, and I have asked him, if he wants to. I very quickly, told him about the podcast, and maybe have him on, maybe not.
And he spat in your face.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Drove away.
A drum podcast. Ugh.
Was the kits?
You want to know about the?
Yeah, it's a drum podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but are they? No, I was going to say, because flight cases or hard cases? What was
It's all flight cases. And what's interesting is if you think about like hardware bag, they don't have a hardware bag in the set. I've got like a suitcase and everything packs down into a small thing. But what they just have is the longest flight case you've ever seen. So the cymbals can pretty much stay. The cymbal stands can stay as they are, and they just get thrown in this big flight case, which is cool. But it's funny because it's like, it doesn't feel professional in the sense of everything's clean and perfect. And in, you look in the flight case and it's just like, there'll be random old broken sticks, and they'll just be like, because it's the same as any sort of gig in that they get it all out quickly, and then they just, at the end of the night, maybe even more so, it's like, fuck it, just as long as it's in the case, I don't give a shit, I'll deal with it tomorrow. But I'll say one more thing. It's interesting, the size of the drums. That's something that's eye-opening because they're not massive. So that Stereophonics gig I did, the first time I took photos and sent it to you, the low tom was probably like 14 by 10 or something, like it was really small. And I've heard drummers talk about this before, and it's because, when you play in these massive rooms, it's going to echo like crazy anyway. So you want, a small drum to kind of counteract that. But I think that was what was interesting about it, with the similarities between a kit that's being played at the Brighton Centre and on the tour where the bands are playing, the O2 Arena. They just, I don't know, it's all packed away very like a rushed wedding gig, but everywhere has its place. And,
everyone wants to go home.
Literally that. And it was great. But I'll keep updated if there's any more mad tour stories. There hasn't really been anything that's, because we load it in and then load it out, so you don't really see any like, it's not like you're there when the band is there. It's if anything mad happens, I will relay it on this podcast. But for now it's a fascinating job. But that's it really. Right.
Good. Yeah.
Should we move on? Because I've rambled on enough. Tom of the week first.
Oh yeah. You thought I was going to go loud then?
No, I thought you were doing the Tom of the week jingle.
No. Here's the jingle.
Tom of the week. That's a lovely, lovely Tom.
Okay, this week's Tom of the week is Tom Morello, isn't it?
Yeah, good one. Good one.
Yeah.
And we've already mentioned their song on this podcast, so it's kind of fitting.
Yes, and I have another reason. Coincidentally, I watched loads of films on the weekend, and at time off, I just watched so much stuff. Anyway, I watched Metal Lords.
That sounds good.
On Netflix, and it's kind of like a teen comedy based around these two guys who have a metal band at school, high school.
Yeah.
And pretty plot devices, they're a bit freaks.
Yeah.
They're not the cool kids. They fall out, they get back together, they play Battle of the Bands, that sort of thing. And Tom Morello was actually, I think, like the music producer on it, and makes a little cameo. So
Nice.
but obviously Tom Morello, I mean, Rage Against the Machine, yeah, pretty darn good.
Amazing.
Pretty
Tom Morello
good band.
actually ended up playing for Bruce Springsteen for quite a few tours, which is it's kind of a weird mix because you wouldn't think they would work, but it did. You know, interesting.
Go where the money is.
Exactly.
A gig's a gig.
A gig's a gig. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, Audio Slave as well. Pretty good.
Audio
as well.
Slave. Yep. And he did some solo shit. I remember seeing him at Hyde Park doing his thing. I can't remember what he played.
Didn't they also have a band called like the Prophets of Rage or something?
Yeah, that
It
sounds
was like
familiar.
a super group that did some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom Morello, well done, mate. You can add
Well
Tom
done,
of the
mate.
Week to your
Accolades.
big old list of accolades. Yeah, your trophy is in the post.
Nice. Right. We ready for the new jingle?
Yeah, it's cheeky, but let's take a trip into the drum dumpster. Oh.
What the hell is that?
You got tossed into the right dumpster.
Fucking Jesus.
You sent me this, George.
Yeah, I
You
did.
said,
And I didn't know if it was an April
Ben,
Fool's.
please, can we put this in the drum dumpster, please?
It was exactly what I
Please.
said.
Yeah.
I've got the text to prove it. 7 teasers.
So, George, what we got?
Well, we've got a tuner. It hasn't been released yet, so we both don't have that much info on it. But it looks interesting in that
What's
it's.
it called?
I have to cut this bit out because I was not
Fuck it out.
prepared. But you're in charge. You're
Am I
in charge.
of it?
You're in charge of the edit, so I know what you can. You can just make me look like an idiot on this bit.
Yeah, I
Right.
can make it longer. I
Yeah.
can make your dawdles longer. I can take every and ah and just
Yeah. This is it.
a minute of and ahs.
Yeah.
This
So
is
you
the
just add them. Cut
just add 'em
one
in, yeah.
and Quantum tuner. Have you got the power? Tune your drum kit in less than 15 minutes. Recall your chosen sounds instantly. So it was launched at the UK Drum Show. That's about all we know, because if you go on the website, there isn't much to it.
Yeah, it says it's out this autumn, 2022.
Yeah.
But it looks like a sort of, yeah, like a device that you, I don't know, hard to find how it quite works, but I'm guessing maybe you stick it on the drum and it
Yeah.
can then measure the resonance and then like
That's what I'm thinking.
you can tune the pitch like, I don't know, it like
I think that's
automatically
it.
turns the things and maybe you
Oh,
can
you
then
reckon
say,
it does that?
maybe like,
I think it's well because there's a picture of it and it's got like a number on the top. So maybe it's like you tune to a certain number. So on this it says 038, and maybe like if you want the drum to go to 040, you tune it up on every lug or something. I don't know.
but in that picture, it looks like it is on the tuning peg.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So I reckon there's some sort of it does like a and spins around your lug
Hmm.
automatically depending on what you set it to, and then you can like save it and then probably go that one again, please.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because
It's
you look at.
interesting- Go on.
Go on. I was
Go
going to say. You go.
You
We
go.
both talk at the same time.
Yeah,
and we'll
let's
see,
see
what
how we
happens.
get on, and then
Right, okay,
people can
this is
listen.
for a lot.
to-
Okay,
and I'll-
okay.
people can listen.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Because you look
Well,
at
I think that
the tuners of. It's weird.
I couldn't think of what I was going to say.
It's like when you watch Gavin and Stacey. They used to do that. They used to have like Nessa and Dave arguing, and they both be talking at the same time. And I'm like, that takes some good acting to stay with your lines while someone else is shouting
Yeah, it's
some
common
shit.
that. Yeah.
I'll say quickly, we had this one and the other one the other week where you just turn a thing, and it always seems to be like there's always like a new tuning thing, but I don't think, do they ever catch on? That's my question.
Yeah.
You know
Well, it
what I mean?
says tune your drums in less than 15 minutes. I think I can tune my drums in less
Yeah.
than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless individually,
Yeah.
I don't know, unless it means you could do your whole kit in 15 minutes.
From
Is it
putting
just
the
a
skins
fad?
on.
I don't know. Prove us wrong.
Yeah,
Come on, Quantum Drum Tuner. Send us
Send
one
one
over
over.
and when it's released. We'll do a pre-review, sure.
Yeah.
And we can go, yeah, or go. No.
That'd be the review. Just, yep.
When you get to a point where your review is so powerful, your
Yeah.
status in an industry, if you just go,
Yeah.
then that's it.
fine.
You're
Yeah.
you're going to sell loads.
Yeah,
Or you just
exactly.
go, nah.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Your business is dead.
This
It's
is it.
dead.
I think we're a while off having that kind of power. But maybe
Yeah.
not. Right. What else is in the dumpster this week?
Oh, we're doing more than one.
Yeah, may as
Sure.
well, because I think that one's so,
Yeah, no problem.
we can do one more. Let's do one more.
One more cheeky. The crowd are absolutely begging for it. Right, this
or something
is
that's actually out,
this kind of relates to something that popped in the drum dumpster earlier. We were talking about just large snare drums,
Yes.
and this is something I saw on the Instagrammer.
Mm.
It's a Tama SLP 14-inch by 10-inch duo snare.
Yeah, this
Right.
is
So this is a little 14-inch floor tom that you have in your tom setup,
yeah.
but you can just flick a switch and it becomes a second snare.
Yep.
So, what do you reckon?
Well, first question, how do you tune it? Because obviously you tune a snare drum higher than you tune, the skin higher than you tune a low tom. So do you tune it as a low tom and then turn the snare on and it's really sort of loose?
I think you have to stop the song and retune it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, I think it's inevitably probably going to give you a lower pitch snare.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
video I saw it being used is sort of in jazz, and it's giving you like that boom, boom, boom sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Again, do we need it?
Do we need it? I think that's the question with all of these drum things. Do we need
Interesting,
that?
isn't it, though, that you could just flick a switch.
Well, it's kind
and
of
then you've
like-
just got a second snare, and you can just. I don't think you'd use it to play Mr. Brightside.
I don't think you'd use it at all. It's kind of like a hybrid bike. I mean, I know you're not a keen cyclist, but
Absolutely not. My dad is.
but well, there you go. So, what does your dad ride? A road bike or a mountain bike?
I think he has one of each.
There you go. You can get a hybrid, which is one in the middle, and it's like I've heard people say, "Don't do that. Just pick either get a road bike and go fast, but don't go on the gravel, or get a mountain bike and you can't go fast, but you can go in mountains and shit. If you get one in the middle, it's like the worst of both worlds,
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that's great stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in the drum dumpster. Tama SLP 14x10 duo snare. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong.
Cheers.
I like this section. Do you know what this section reminds me of? When I watched Top Gear when I was younger, and they had that little section where they reviewed new cars and stuff. I think that's what this is becoming, which is I'm all for.
Yeah, we just find the odd, just what's out there, what's new, what's odd, what's innovative, what's coming in the drumming world.
Right. Last thing.
Oh yeah.
Before I forget, no, this is good because we
Good.
put out
Yeah.
we put out
Yeah.
a competition, didn't we? Do you remember the Tom of the Week?
Oh yes.
Yeah, and we never even talked about it.
Oh yeah. So this
ages
is
ago.
going back to our interview with Sam
Yeah.
Saunders,
Yeah.
where we found out we all got a brother called Tom, and I said I'd do a picture of
Yeah.
Guess the Tom, and I put our brothers' faces. Didn't
Yeah.
ask for their permission. That's fine.
No.
On the picture of my drum kit, 3 Toms. Put it on the gram. Pick your Tom. Whose Tom is whose?
Yep. And the winner,
Right.
because it's the only person that commented,
And that's fine.
is Elliot. And
Oh, Elliot, well done.
he was correct. So if you're listening to this, Elliot,
Should we
no
reveal the
prize.
answers?
We haven't
Let's
got-
reveal the answers. So Tom 1 was.
someone was my brother.
Yeah.
I was gonna say his name.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was my brother Tom.
Yeah.
Tom 2, Sam Sanders' brother, and Tom 3 was your brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done, Elliot. You were I almost think once someone's commented, if anyone else is gonna comment, maybe they're like, "Oh,
Well, the thing
this-"
was, he commented
done.
first and he got it right. So I don't think
Yeah.
there was not really. Should have done it
point.
differently.
Should've- I don't know how a poll. I don't know.
Send an email.
So well, no one sends emails. I mean,
I think they do.
well, they do, but not for a
Not to us.
competition. No, but not for a
But
competition.
yeah, but then it keeps it anonymous. Should have
Well,
done
that's
DM.
true.
DM us.
DM.
Anyway,
DM's a good
we've got a
in-between.
new competition coming up soon, but that's all we're going to say about it at the moment.
That's all you're going to say about it. I'm going to spill the beans right now.
Spill the beans onto the toast.
Yeah.
Do you? Right. I don't know if
I
this
thought
is
we were going to
weird.
be done, but you're obviously going to talk about beans on toast.
Yeah, just quickly. So if I have beans on toast, which is very, very rare,
Yeah.
I like to have 2 bits
Because
of
I
toast.
think I remember you saying once toast is for poor people. So. But go on.
No, just, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
5 beans on toast, 1 or 2 bits of bread, doesn't matter, but probably 2.
Yeah.
Toast it, obviously.
Yeah.
Butter it, sure.
Mm.
I then chop the toast up before I put the beans on.
Do you? Wait, what do
Yeah.
you mean chop it up? Like
Cut it into square bits.
what? Okay. Why?
Uh,
Wait, when you say square, like as in like just in half, or like really go for it with scissors and
not scissors.
and
No.
then you've got like
So
almost
I'll
croutons.
I'll cut the toast in half, the common way,
Yep.
across the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no, I tell a lie. I'll go down the middle from top of the loaf to the bottom. Down the middle.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Right.
That's completely the wrong
And then
way.
so that bit of toast is now in 2 halves.
Well,
I'll
yeah.
then follow the same line down and cut them in half.
Right.
So I essentially have
almost like
4 long strips.
so, like if you were to
top
have
bottom.
soft-boiled eggs and soldiers, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I've got 4 long strips.
Yeah.
And then I will then rotate the plate 90 degrees.
Right.
So then the strips are now
I got
lengthways
yeah.
across me. Yeah. And then I will chop each of those 4 strips
Mm.
into either 3s or 4s. So
Depending how
essentially, I'm
you're
chopping
feeling
it
on
into
the
like
day.
a grid. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll give them a little mess around on the plate. And then I'll put my beans on.
Right.
And then I'll grate my cheese on top of that.
Yeah.
And the reason I like to do that is because I want to get the admin out the way.
I know. Well, this is like the spag bowl thing, isn't it?
I have been prone, due to my pure brute strength, that I eat my meals on the sofa on a tray,
Yeah.
right? And then if you have to chop and you push too hard, so
Yeah.
you're at risk of flipping the tray off your
Yeah.
knees. Right.
Sorry,
Also
sir.
as
You're gonna
well-
have to leave the restaurant.
I like to be at a point where I'm not having the cutting it up. It's admin.
Yeah.
I like to be at a point where once I'm sitting down watching the TV show I want to watch while eating my dinner,
Yeah.
I can't start eating until the adverts are done.
No.
Do you do that? Do you pause eating while the adverts are on?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
And then I just want to be able to shovel. Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah.
Like that's all flavour. It's all good
Yeah.
good shit then. I'm not
Yeah.
cutting and I find that if you cut the toast with the beans on, even if you do that pre-sitting down, you're mixing up the beans and the toast too much. And I want, like Partridge, I want that to be my decision later, whether I get perhaps a bit of bread and I go, this will be quite minimal with the bean juice
Yeah.
and the bean, and then I'll work my way in.
Yeah.
So
It's scary how well I know you now. Like, because I know,
you
Your
know that
mindset-
makes sense to me, don't you?
and I know it's because I remember you showing me you at work at the studio. You'd made a spag bowl and you'd pre-cut the spaghetti. This was maybe like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you pre-cut the spaghetti? And you say, just so I can just chow down. You can just have a
Yeah.
fork and you don't have to worry about twizzling
Yeah.
and stuff.
I've done my
and,
homework. Now I can play football.
Exactly. But I totally agree with that. I like meals that you can sit down, but also lean back. In this, I've got a deep couch here, quite a deep couch.
Alan's deep bath.
Exactly. And if I'm
George's deep couch.
I can't go knife and fork on this couch, you know. I have to, once I'm leant back, that's it, you know. I'm shoveling away. And yeah, if I make a meal,
bring the plate almost to chin level
yeah,
and just
blah 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 blah.
so the next mouthful's ready before
Yes.
you've even finished swallowing or
Yeah.
even chewing. You're adding
Yeah.
cement to the cement mixer.
Do you find, right? I've found as the years go by, the more I eat with other people, not saying over the years I eat with bigger groups of people, but just in general, how fast you are as an eater. I have to, if I'm at like a dinner or something, I have to make the very conscious effort to slow down, and I have to just do things. So if I go around to like one of my mates as a dog and I'll eat for 2 minutes really quick, half the meal's gone, then I'll just have to play with the dog for 10 minutes because I know I'll just be eating this, and it gets embarrassing because every time I have dinner anywhere, I'll finish in a minute. And then people are like, oh my God, you're done. Ugh. But not even in a, wow, fair play. It's like a kind of, that's disgusting. Yeah.
You're not coming back. Yeah.
No, exactly.
I don't know. I think I probably used to be. I think I've slowed down in my old age, the speed, but it's all in the prep, you see. And if the trouble is, if I'm eating out with other people, I have to be wary of, prep work being a eyebrow raising thing.
Asking the chef if they can cut your toast.
I've got to cut this spaghetti as I go to just seem like a normal person. So that slows it down. What you lack in
speed, you've made up for in experience.
Sure. What I would say is that I really don't like my food too hot. So I often find that I just got to wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Before it's at a temperature again, because I want to just.
You want to just go for it. Yeah.
So just Mum's always like, "Come on, let's get started. I'm like, letting it cool down.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to see something very special.
Exactly. I'll say one more thing.
It's too hot.
It's too hot, Mum. Last thing, I am very glad that Trigger Happy TV is on Netflix now. I don't know if you're ever a fan. I assume you're a fan. Yeah. And because that's definitely your sort of like 2001, I think it was. So you were what, like
16.
That's like prime age. And
mate, I was the prime Trigger Happy.
Yeah.
Bonsai.
Yeah.
Jackass, Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what's great about it being on Netflix is I'll make a meal, sit down, and put Netflix on and go, oh, what should I watch? And I'm eating and I'm going, oh, I haven't found anything yet. And then the meal's nearly done. Oh, that'll do. And then I've pretty much finished eating, but I'm like, well, it's on now. And I've got to watch this, 9 series drama all the way through. But now Trigger Happy's on. If I make breakfast and I'm like, I need something to watch, 20 minutes of Dom Jolly is perfect. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd say that's a lack of preparation on your end.
What? Not thinking of something to watch. I it's the food that I prepare, and then the TV comes second. They don't go hand in hand for me,
Yeah.
And also,
I find there's a bit. If I'm cooking, it's quite rare, but I'm cooking. There's a point in the cook where I can go, right, I'm going to use this time to go and set up the telly on the Netflix thing ready.
Yeah, but you're different. You actually watch Netflix shows and films. Like, I almost use it just as so I'm not lonely. You know what I mean? Like, just if I'm in the front room.
But on my phone in the kitchen, I've got my Fluff TV, Office, It's Always Sunny, Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things. And that'll be like, I'll have an episode of that on while I'm cooking, but then I've lined up the big boy in the living room ready.
Yeah. But I mean, you'll probably, is that then you're done, that's like food and that's your evening, I'm going to watch this? Because I feel like I almost watch stuff just to have something on while I eat. But I always think, oh, what should I? And I never want to.
Because I'll go, right. So, for example, tonight, I won't be eating because I'm working tonight.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't working, it would be, I'm cooking spag bowl. 9 times out of 10, it's spag bowl.
Yeah.
I've got It's Always Sunny. I'm on a run of Always Sunny. I'm watching that on my phone while I'm cooking. And the bits of I'm cooking, I'm loading up Netflix on the telly in the living room, getting that ready, episode 1. And then it'll be eat while watching episode 1.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. And I will, all the prep's been done. The drink's already in the living room, right? The TV's lined up to go. The spaghetti's already cut up. The cheese is already on.
Yeah.
Right? And it'll be, tray goes down, press play. I'll watch. The meal is cooling down slightly. That's fine. Just give it a couple of minutes. Then it's up. Bang. Eat.
Yep.
Right? And then it's tray down. and I'll just continue watching that episode,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where I'm focused on,
Mm-hmm.
right? That episode finishes, sure. We pause,
Yeah.
yeah? We take the trays through. We take the food, the empties, back to the kitchen.
Mm.
Now, the decision is to wash up now
Yep.
or watch another episode. But then it's at least it's in the kitchen then. I might watch another episode. That episode's done. It's washing up time. And then I might pop on a bit of fluff while I check Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There you go.
But sometimes, depending on the meal, it might be like, this is a meal and I'm just going to watch the fluff. Because actually, this show I really want to watch. I don't even want to be distracted by food.
Yeah.
And Better Call Saul even might be one of those cases.
Well, that's my problem with watching something. So whenever I'm eating, I always want to watch something that I've already seen. You know, I can't multitask, especially if you've got a knife and fork situation.
It depends on the. Yeah. Well, do your cutting up before you.
I know.
go.
Well, that brings us
People
nicely
laugh.
back to
People
beans on
fucking
toast.
laugh, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Because you're not like, oh, I've got to look away and chop up his little sausage.
No.
You can be eyes on the telly, boy.
Yeah.
Shove. Off you go.
There you go.
Enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much.
The modern way.
Yeah. And some drums and stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
That's finished that one.
I think that was the least we talked about drums ever, which I'm quite proud of, to be honest.
Yes.
Second half.
Right. And there's a new little outro coming. Oh. But anyway, go check out the Instagram because we will have another. We've got a competition coming. And this one's actually got a prize.
Yeah.
But I'll say no more. Just in case we don't bother doing it. But we will. And we will be back next week with another guest.
Another guest.
How about that? I'm going to say who it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming people have turned off by now. Once we spent 10 minutes talking about baked beans and cutting up spaghetti.
It would be amazing if people are still here.
But we had a chat with Ben Kennedy, session drummer.
Yep.
Done some big shit. Supported Coldplay on an arena tour in America.
Yeah. Which we delved into, and there was an amazing opening act to
Surprise
the Coldplay
opening
show,
act to Coldplay, yeah.
which is well worth sticking around for because it's blown my mind.
But yeah, we chatted about his career and he's done some cool shit.
Done some cool shit.
So that'll be next week. But
cool.
Other than that, done it.
Yep.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember,
Just pick up the sticks and twat it.